Alright everybody, I'm back, and we were just about to go to this Halloween party and roommates until I mysteriously ran off to bed because I was exhausted, so let's continue. I don't know why he's talking that way, but he enters through the front door and gestures for us to enter as well. I heard it was a theme party, I didn't know it was going to be like this. Oh, I've heard of a murder mystery parties, this could be a lot of fun. This way please. Do mind the corpse. Mind the Before Rakesh can finish, we've all entered and are staring at the bloody corpse in the middle of the hall. There are about 10 other people here with us. Some of the others are talking amongst themselves about the body. It's actually really well done. It looks very believable. Poor Mr. Bodie. He owns this building. Well, owned. He donated a rather large sum to the college, apparently on behalf of a student he had a particular fondness for. Actually, it's rather odd, but he had been filling out these cards when he sent me out. They they have your names on them. Butler hands everyone in the room a card with their name on it. So that's why we had a RSVP for this thing. I open my card and inside it just says, you were Mr. Bodie's #1 salesperson. You are innocent, but the murder is out there. At 7, you were refueling your vehicle. Hey, what did you guys get? The others open theirs and peer at them for a moment. Please do not discuss the contents of your letter until the constables arrive. We wouldn't want anyone to tamper with the evidence. While we wait, please avail yourself of the amenities. There's a kitchen down the hall, the study is that way, and the sitting room is through the door. I expect there may be clues about, but I'm sure you'll discover something along the way. So what's going on? Looks like you're on the case, hot stuff. Time to figure out who murdered this poor sap. This game is afoot, as it were. It's elementary, my dear Rakesh. Oh, this will be so much fun. Well, I think I know what I'd like to investigate. Down, dead boy. It appears we must solve this dreadful crime. Who doesn't love a good mystery? You are way too into this, hun. This might be pretty cool. I think I'm gonna go see what I can find in the study. Butler, is there food in the kitchen? Inductively. I shall take that as a yes and go feed myself. I think I'm just gonna get off my feet in the sitting room. You're terrible, Max. I'm gonna search this room for clues. Come find me in the kitchen. I'll make some food for us both. Yes, I'll be along to confer with you all later. We're really into this thing. While we were making our plans, so was everyone else. Soon enough, the crowd disperses. Only the butler is left. So, butler, any rules I should know? Well, I shouldn't break character, but everything you need to know is in this building, and I can tell you that I didn't do it. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, I'll be in character too. What exactly happened, butler? I'm afraid I don't know much. Feel free to look over the body for clues. I'll answer your question as you like. Perfect. I'll begin my investigations immediately. No evildoer will escape my trap. The only question now is where to start. Clearly there are 4 rooms to visit. If I include the main hall there are probably clues in each of them, not to mention my friends. I guess I just have to figure out which one to visit first. Let's investigate the main hall. Time to investigate the main hall. After all, there is a body to look into. I look around the room just to get my bearings. There are some stairs going up here, though that seems to be out of bounds for the game. The main entrance is here too. The butler appears to have gone back outside to wait for the police. The body lies before me. Whoever did it did a great job. It almost looks like a real person who's had the back of their skull caved in. The body is wearing a very nice 3-piece suit that's been treated very roughly. Whoever got to him must have had a fight on their hands. There are holes and tears all over. The man was also clearly quite well to do. A gold watch peeks out from under one of his sleeves. I almost don't want to touch the body. The effects are so real. If you need to search for clues, here, ma'am. Feel free. Thank you, butler. Well, I guess that's as much of a push as I'm going to get. I take a look at the watch on his wrist. It's definitely seen better time. The strap is nearly broken off and the face is definitely broken. A little blood has gotten onto it in the strap and on the knob of the side. The watch hands have stopped moving, stuck at 7 p.m. I decided to go through the pockets of his jacket as well. After a few moments of riffling around, my hands grasp something. It appears to be a stop payment order on a check. On the reason line, it just says cut off. There doesn't appear to be anything else of note on this body. Well, Butler, I think it's time you told me what you know. Exactly what happened here. Very well. Here is the sordid tale. I was here when the master returned from work at 6 in the evening, and he was certainly planning on throwing a costume party tonight. All the invitations to you were sent off ages ago. At 6:55, the master noticed that we were dreadfully short of port this evening. He immediately sent me to acquire more for the night. Obviously, I don't really know what happened while I was gone. I arrived back from the shops at 7:30, and I entered to find this hideous scene you see before you. I called the police, but but then you all began arriving, and well, you know where we got from here. Did you hear any strange noises when you were leaving? Any sign of struggle? If we assume his watch broke at the time of the assault, it wasn't long after you left. No, I don't recall hearing anything unusual as I left. It was actually very quiet. And there was nobody here when you got back? No, I checked all the rooms and nobody was about. And are there any other entrances or exits? There was a back entrance, but it was still locked when I checked it. Alright, well thank you, Butler. Of course, ma'am. I think that's all I'm going to get out of this place for now. Well, that was certainly a good place to start. Question is, where next? Let's go to the study. Time to visit the study. I think Isabella came in here. One of the classrooms has been converted for the evening. Looks like there are people relaxing all over. Someone even put a few pipes on the coffee table between some of the chairs. They probably haven't been used, since I'm pretty sure this is a no-smoking building. Isabella is sitting on one of the chairs, idly leafing through a book. I don't know if she's reading it or not, actually. Hey, Isabella. Oh, hey there, hon. Finally came to see what I was up to. I've been looking forward to seeing you. So, have you discovered any clues? I may know some things you don't. The real question here is, how are you going to get me to tell you them? Oh, I have my ways of making you talk, Isabella. It's actually pretty fun playing the investigator. I always loved the femme fatale types and the old crime novellas I've read. Isabella, for her part, leans back in the chair, crossing her legs and steeping her fingers as she looks over me. Oh, do tell. I'm all ears. Well, I guess I should interrogate you. Oh, does a little girl want to use a little force to come get what she wants? I do like a woman who knows what she wants. Isabel's teasing me again, but it does work well for a character like hers. I can't buckle now. That's right, Isabella. I do know what I want. I walk over to her, putting my hands on the armrest and leaning my face in close to hers. And what I want is for you to tell me what you know, everything you know. Isabel smiles a sort of languid smile as she looks into my eyes. Well, since you asked so nice. So what's your story here, Isabella? Well, you know, Mr. Bodie was my boss. We worked together, for God's sakes. I've been his secretary for 3 years now. Did you have any problems with your boss? Of course not. We got along famously. Everyone knows he was always hanging off my every word. And was there anything else going on between you two? I'm sorry, what? What do you mean? Well, come on, Isabella. It's the oldest story in the book, right? Beautiful secretary and the older, lecherous boss. So you do think I'm beautiful, eh? That's progress. I try not to blush. She's trying to throw me off the scent, which is proof that something is going on. I decide to try a different tactic. Of course I do, Isabella. You're damn pretty. How long did it take for you to have him wrapped around your little finger? Oh, not long at all. Wait. Fine. Yeah, we messed around a little bit. It was nothing serious, just a little harmless fun. Ha! I knew it. And did his wife know about the harmless fun? Well, if it's harmless, she wouldn't really need to know about it, would she? I figured. So, where were you at 7 p.m.? Oh, don't remind me. That was before we got here, right? You asked why Chad didn't come? Well, just ask the patrons at my cafe. They'll tell you why he didn't come. We had a huge fight when he told me he had to go bail someone out of jail. He left at 7 and I went home to prepare to come here with you. How far away is the cafe from here? I don't know, about 15 minutes. Okay, one more question. Take a look at this for me. I hand the slip of paper to Isabella, watching her reaction carefully. She unfurls the paper, looking it over. For a fraction of a second, her face tightens in anger. Then she's all smiles again. Clearly he didn't want someone to get paid. That looks like his personal account, so I don't know what it could have been for. Did you know his account number well as his secretary? As his secretary, I ran a few checks for him now and then. I have a good head for numbers, what can I say? Well, thank you for your time, Isabella. No problem, detective. Hope you figure out who did this and bring them to justice. Isabella winks at me and goes back to idly leafing through her book on her comfy chair. Well, there's clearly an affair happening between her and Bodhi, but that's not necessarily evidence that she did it. I'll have to investigate further. As I return to the main hall, I pass by a couple of other guests in this murder mystery. I hear a quick snippet of their conversation. Oh yeah? I totally heard this bodyguard wanted out of his job, but couldn't get out from under Bodhi's thumb. There's definitely some dirt involved there. Well, anyways, there's another room down. That's another room down. Only question now is where to go next. So we did the main hall. We investigated the study. Let's go to the kitchen. I think it's time to visit the kitchen. Maybe I can catch up with Rakesh. I wander down the hall into what looks like a little break room. There's a refrigerator and a microwave in here. There's even one of those little electric grills plugged in. I see Rakesh applying peanut butter to some bread slices at the counter next to the refrigerator, digging around inside the fridge. I see a girl I don't know. Let me know when you find the jelly, Roxanne. Yes, I'm looking. I don't know if they have any. How did you talk me into this anyway? Because I make an excellent sandwich. Hey, Rakesh. Ah, Anne, welcome. I will get more bread. What is a kitchen without snacks, Who's your new friend? Says Roxanne. Apparently she was staying here in the building to sort out some of her affairs. Oh? And what affairs would those be, Miss Roxanne? That unfortunate murder case in the Great Hall is my father. He called me here under some pretense of having something to tell me. It was apparently going to be something about his new lover. Honestly, if he weren't paying my way through college, I wouldn't have listened to anything that the old bag had to say. He was quite well-to-do, and how did you fit into his plans, if you don't mind me asking, miss? Hopefully, I didn't fit into them at all. He was a terrible person, a womanizer, and a philanderer. A philanderer? You still took his money to attend school, however. I mean, why not? Have you seen the interest rates on school loans? Sure, I did what I had to do, but I hated that man. I hated him to his bones. I won't deny it. I've got nothing to hide. Roxanne slams a jar of jelly on the counter next to Rakesh and storms out the room. Rakesh finishes making the sandwiches and hands me one. Well, Rakesh, what's your story? Did you know the man here? Ah, yes. Well, as to my story, I'm not sure if you ever saw me around the office, but I was Mr. Bodhi's bodyguard. He did not feel I was necessary when he was at his own office. Still, I saw you a time or two. He was your boss as well, eh? Did you two get along all right? Oh, yes. He was a very strict boss. You didn't like him. Oh, that's not true at all. Well, maybe a little. I was not fond of him, but one does not need to be fond over one's employer to remain employed. Is that correct? I suppose that's true, but surely you could have found somewhere else to work. Mr. Bodhi was very persuasive. You don't like a loyal employee? Perish the thought. At any rate, I did not have anything to do with the terrible crime out there tonight. That is for certain. So where were you around 7 tonight? What time was that? An hour before we got here? I was just finishing up an art class. I was doing a bit of life modeling. I didn't know you did that. Well, art is a bit of a side passion of mine. We both chuckle at that. Mr. Bodhi said that he wouldn't need me tonight, so I took the opportunity. Just one last thing, Rakesh. Can you take a look at this for me? I hand him the slip of paper, watching his reaction. He uncurls the paper, looking it over. He looks worried for a moment. It's one of his personal accounts, not the one he pays me out of, I think. I hope... Is it not? It's not yours, is it? No, not mine. Probably someone else close to him, then? It's definitely a personal account. Okay, well, thank you, Rakesh. Make sure to find me if you think of anything else. Most definitely. Thank you, Anne. I think there is definitely more to Rakesh's relationship with Mr. Bodhi than he's saying, but I'll have to figure it out as I go. As I return to the main hall, I pass by a couple of other guests in the murder mystery. I hear a quick snippet of their conversation. Oh yeah, I totally heard the bodyguard one about... So he was the bodyguard. Alright, so we went to these three. Let's go to the sitting room. Looks like our common room, but with a nicer TV. It even looks like someone brought in a small bar. Upon closer inspection, it looks like it's got all kinds of juices, but not alcohol. Which makes sense. This is a school property after all. I make myself a quick glass of juice and scan the people here. Max is sitting on one of the recliners next to the TV, watching some kind of sport highlight coverage. A few other people are sitting in various other parts of the room, but they all seem to be nattering about nothing. Come to think of it, I haven't really seen all those other people much. Most of them must have come in here to discuss things. Looks like a bunch of them have juice glasses. Hello, Max. Hiding in here, huh? Maybe a little. I have my reasons. Well, speaking of reasons, maybe we should talk about your story here. I'm so all over this case, Max, and I'm gonna solve it. So out with it. All right. It's not like I have anything to hide, cutie. Don't you cutie me. You're not gonna distract me. Yeah. Look. Mr. Brody has two daughters. His older daughter, Hillary, married me. Shotgun wedding? What? No. Oh, please. Like you're the marrying type, Max. Hey, I could be. What if I found the right girl or three? Exactly. Anyway, according to my card, I married her. So shut up. Stay in character, Max. You were doing really well. You're really enjoying yourself, aren't you? You get into the sleuth stuff, don't you? Oh yeah, I used to love all those pulp detective novels. Back to you. Why'd you do it? Was it the money? Hey, the money was just a nice perk. I don't think that makes me a bad person. I take it Mr. Brody was against it. He wasn't exactly thrilled, but he didn't object. His daughter's a grown woman. She could make her own decisions. So you didn't get along with Mr. Brody? Maybe not at first, but he gave me a job at his company, and we've been fine ever since. I'm not his favorite person or anything, but we're not sniping at each other either. So where were you at 7? Hillary asked me to make nice, so I didn't leave the office. So I don't leave the office until every night. Wait, what? Hillary asked me to make nice. So I don't leave the office until then, every night. You can check with anyone in the office, they'll tell you. So are you Hillary's fiancé these days? She's doing fine. Max looks away from me for a moment, watching the television screen. Okay, one last thing, Max. Can you take a look at this for me? I had him slip the paper. I hand him the slip of paper. He looks over it for a moment, curiously. It's a stop payment for one of his personal accounts. He breaks these out when he's mad sometimes or when he wants to cut ties with somebody. He'll just deny their final paycheck or payment or whatever. He's lucky he was never sued over it, honestly. Do you know who the payment might have been to? Not off the top, no. He didn't keep me into that business. Alright, I suppose that's enough for now. Thank you for your cooperation, Max. No problem, Sleuth. Good luck on the case. It's a tricky one. He winks at me as I leave the room. As I return to my own hall, I pass by a couple of guests in this murder. I hear quick, yeah, it's great having a life model for class. I think I made good progress. He even stayed a little late. Anyways, that's another room down. The only question now is where to go next. Whoops. Sorry, y'all. I don't think it was Rakesh. I don't know. Butler, gather the people. I think it's time we close the case. Very well, madam. The butler runs around gathering up the other suspects in this mystery. Tonight, someone in this room committed a heinous crime. Someone who thinks they could have gotten away with it. Unfortunately for that person, I happen to show up. I've yet to meet a mystery I could have solved in a perp I couldn't finger. Isabella snickers behind her hand. I try not to blush. She's really quite terrible. And that's why I brought you all here before the scene of the crime. Because it's now quite obvious who the killer is. Who? Easy, Rakesh. I'm gonna say Isabella did it. Lie. But Rakesh, okay. I took a deep breath as I passed my gaze across everyone in the room once more. It's a tale as old time, really. A successful boss gets himself a pretty secretary, figures he can string her along and have his fun. And once he's had his fun, he can toss her to the curb like so many others. Isabella's face is darkening as she looks at me, but I can't stop now. Of course, no woman appreciates being tossed to the curb. Which is why she came to what she thought was a party and discovered it was in fact her sugar daddy cutting her off. She snapped. Isn't that right, Isabella? Isabella turns her anger into a seductive glance. You've had your fun now. Tell us who really did it. Surely you don't actually think I did it. Sorry, Isabella, but your charm won't work on me. You didn't get here at 7. The butler would have heard the fight leading up to the murder. I have no doubt your alibi checks out until 7, almost 7. But you checked out a little early, didn't you? You got here while the butler was away. You and Bodie had a little talk about your arrangement, but he cut you off. You fought and grabbed the first thing to hand, smashing his head in, then smashing his watch when you were done. And by the blood on the adjustment knob on his watch, I can tell it was you who set the time back to 7 so your alibi would check out. You probably staged a fight with Chad to cement your alibi. The final piece of the puzzle, to the stop payment request, it was for you, wasn't it? Fine, you got me. He was supposed to set me up for life. It was worth a little fling, or it would have been worth it if he had come through on his end of the bargain. But apparently he decided he didn't want me getting my own, wanted me getting my own this, didn't want me getting my own on the side. That hypocrite. Whatever, I'm sorry he had to die. I didn't intend for it to happen, but no one crosses me. Do you hear me? No one. Well done, Anne. You have solved the mystery. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have, and I want to thank you all for coming out for the Alpha Theta Rho Fraternity's Murder Mystery Evening. If you would like, please feel free to join us for a party proper at our house. Everyone claps loudly for the butler, who takes a bow. People start heading out the door. The Latin House roomies gather in the lot. Can't believe how much fun that was. Did you see me in there? Definitely, clearly you need to channel some of that all the time, Anne. Oh yeah, you were definitely working it. She wasn't the only one. Well, hey, if you got it, flaunt it, though I can't believe they made me the other woman for some skeezy old businessman. Well, if the shoe fits. Watch it, jackass. Everyone laughs as Isabella threatens to bite Max, chasing him around the lot. That was a lot of fun, to pretend to be someone else for an evening. I suppose that is what Halloween is about, yeah? Suppose that's very true, Rakesh. Nice work. Well, now that I'm done with pretending to be a sexy office worker, I think it's time to pretend to be a drunken vampire who wants to go get some research material. Hear, hear. Are you really just going to pretend to be drunk? Everyone just stares at Rakesh for a moment before we all head off laughing to the frat house. Ah, my eyes are steady too much. Hold up, I want to see how long. Okay. Excellent. Clearly the superior player has prevailed to the day, even if it was close. Ah, my eyes are steady too much. Okay. Oh, we're gonna do data entry. Yeah. Then this. We're gonna attend class. Continue. You know what? I think this is gonna be a good week for a change. I'm actually getting out the door without running into something crazy delaying me. The last 2 weeks have been ridiculous. Everyone else has already gone to class, so I locked the door behind me as I head out. Or at least I thought the others had gone off to class. It looks like Sally's coming back. She looks really nervous about something. Her eyes are darting all over, and she's walking with a bit of a hunch. I hope she didn't hurt herself. I walk out the gate and give her a wave as I turn towards my class. Oh, and, hey, I, forgot a buck. Okay, yeah, she's really terrible at hiding things. Sally runs past me and heads to the door without looking me in the eye. I can tell she's struggling to keep her jacket closed and get into her pockets at the same time. I suppose I could go over there and help, but that just means getting tied up in whatever crazy scheme she's got going on today. I just don't know if it's worth it. I'm gonna skip it. No, I think I know trouble when I see it, and this time I'm not getting sucked into it. I have to admit though, I had a hard time focusing. I'm just too curious. With the way the students are around here, it could honestly be anything, and I'm dying to know. When I finally get back, I can't help myself. I have to knock on Sally's door. Sally only barely cracks the door open, speaking to me through a gap, looks really frazzled. What? Oh, hey Anne. So I've got some really hard homework in here, and I'll talk to you later. Oh, well, I just felt bad for passing you by without helping you this morning. It looked like you were really struggling. Water under the bridge, Anne. It's fine. Are you sure I can't help with your homework? That's when I feel something cold and wet pressing against my shin. What? Vegemite? No. Is that a puppy? I barely got past Dominic this morning. Oh my god, he's so cute. I leaned down to put my finger through the crack in the door and scratch the puppy. Wait, Vegemite? Shh, hush, quiet. Sally is whispering, yelling at me. Well, just let me know if you need anything. Best of luck. Okay, thanks, really. We're gonna cut it there, folks. Thanks for listening. We had another great week and a new event there already. I'll see you in the next one.